Hey, everybody! Oh, I love it! I love it! I actually threw the Nerd HQ just so I could get applause like that to feel better about myself. I'm kidding. That's not it. How's everybody doing? Yeah? You good? You excited? Excited to be at the HQ? I love all the cosplay. I love it. That's one of my favorite things. And everybody turn and look. Everyone look. No, I'm kidding. And by the way, I'm so pumped when I look out and I see nerd shirts and nerd machine shirts. I can't even tell you how much it means to me that you guys are like a part of the Nerdelution and you're like embracing it and you're with me because I believe in it so much, and that you guys see that and believe in it with me is awesome. It makes me feel better about myself. So hey, listen, we have an incredible panel for you lined up right now, and obviously you guys know what you're getting yourself into. So I'm not going to be up here as a talking head, and I'm not going to give anybody's credits. But what I will do is this: I'm going to introduce the moderator, the very talented moderator that is working with Zach and everyone in his company, and he's going to introduce everybody else. Sound good to you? All right, fantastic. No, does it sound good to you? See, I tell you, that second effort's always better, isn't it? All right, well, without any further delay, I'd like to bring up to the stage right now who will be moderating the panel that you're about to see, Stephen Christie. Please, come on up. Is your mic working? Can we get a working mic for this man? Break it down, break it down. What is it? What number is that? Number 8? Ocho? Anything? Check?
Hello.
Oh, hey, we have liftoff. Fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
Stephen, I leave this in your very capable hands.
Sir.
Enjoy, everybody.
So I wish we had entrance music for these guys, like wrestling or something like that, but we don't, unfortunately. So I'm going to ask the panelists one by one to come up. We have an amazing panel for you guys today. This is the Before the Door Archaea panel. We're going to be talking about Mr. Murder is Dead. We're going to be talking about Lucid. We're going to be talking about Zach. We're going to be talking about a lot of exciting things. So let's start bringing the panelists up one by one. Who's first? No one. All right, now it becomes a stand-up comedy hour. Oh my God, Corey Musa and Neil Dotson of Before the Door. And they brought new Brent Schooner, Victor Kinaj, Mr. Murder is Dead, Michael McMillan, and the man of the hour, Zachary Quinto. Don't hurt anyone. Don't hurt anyone. Be careful.
Hey, no overhand throws. Nobody can lose an eye in this situation, okay?
Do you have insurance on this?
We have plenty of insurance.
Okay.
Wink, wink.
Excellent. Wow. I don't know about you guys. I'm already having more fun here than I am at any Comic-Con panel that we've done before. So, excellent.
Hey guys, I'm so sorry, but I don't mean to encroach in any way. No flashes during the panel, please, because we're live streamed to the rest of the world, and that will affect everyone else's ability to enjoy it. And also, no video, no flashes, no video. Does that sound cool? Does that sound cool? Second effort, always better. Okay, go ahead, guys.
And everyone's all still shooting video. Excellent. Well, guys, this is our third Comic-Con now, I think, in a row. And the amazing thing is that we actually have books to show for it.
The trilogy is complete.
The trilogy is complete. Revenge of the Jedi is here. Star Wars joke? Anyone? No, maybe not. So, well, the big thing that we're really excited about, this past spring we finally had Lucid come out, which was written by Michael McMillan. Fantastic. And the big thing that we are celebrating here at this convention is that we have an incredible new book from our partnership with Before the Door, Mr. Murder is Dead, written by that lovely gentleman right over there at the end. So guys, this was really kind of quite a journey to put these books together and to have, kind of Before the Door with Zach and Neil and Corey actually really have their own imprint, their own comic book imprint. And I have to say that you guys, of all the books that you could have done, you did two things that were completely different from each other. But oh my goodness, I can sit! How exciting! But two books that were completely different from each other, but couldn't be more unique in their own creative visions. And Victor, I want to start with you since this is the debut of Mr. Murder is Dead. I think a lot of these people maybe haven't even had a chance to see the book. So what is this book about?
Oh, you left me to pitch it. Okay. I'm trying to remember the index cards they wrote me. Mr. Murder is Dead is very simply, it's a murder mystery. It really is at its core just a really I'm hoping, great mystery for you guys to solve. And what we did was we had it take place in this golden age comic strip land, very much an homage to Dick Tracy and also some of the great, Bob Kane, even Batman is in there, and all these kind of great detectives from kind of the 30s on up. And my great fortune was not only to just work with Before the Door and Archaea, but they introduced me to, this is the first, I met him yesterday for the first time, even though we've been working for a year together on this book, but this is Brent, and Brent is one of the most talented people on this planet, as you will see in this book. He really did create, you can see here like the 1940s style here. It's just absolutely insane what he did with this book, and I can't recommend it enough.
Now we get to visit, the really cool thing about this is that we get to, you're going through the life, you start the book basically where the main character is an old man, and in going back in time we get to go back and see comic strips of different styles from different decades. Brent, what was it like to have to kind of alter your style and kind of change your style and be inspired by these different eras?
Oh, it was a blast. It just, I found out about the project meeting you guys at C2E2 a couple of years back, and it just felt like a project that I had always something I wanted to do in my head, but it was like you guys presented it to me. It was a perfect merger. It was like I'd love to do something like that. I've always been a big fan of Golden Age comic strips and Chester Gold and Lee Falk, who did a character called the Phantom, and it just was so much in my wheelhouse and things that inspired me naturally. So it was just, there really wasn't much to, the books were already in my shelves to research, so it was just a chance to already just, go pick off something in the library and go to town on it. So it was just a blast.
This is a question for Before the Door. Zach, Neil, and Corey, why did you guys pick Victor to do this? Of all the people you could have worked with, why this gentleman right here?
No idea. It's a terrible idea. No, we've all known Victor for the better part of 15 years, 14, 15 years. We all went to college together at Carnegie Mellon, and Corey and I had actually both met Victor separately our senior years in high school. At any rate, so we've known him forever, and he's a great storyteller, and he sent us a screenplay that we didn't know what to do with, and then he and Corey figured out what to do with it, which was to change it entirely and turn it into this awesome graphic novel. And as soon as they sort of hit on what the take was, Corey deserves a lot of credit on this book for sort of having cracked part of the Dick Tracy element of the story, and that was what it needed.
I did it all. It was me. Thank you.
Very nice. Why the obsession with the golden age of comics? Because I feel for a lot of, the wonderful thing about working with you guys has been that you've brought so many new readers to the table here. A lot of people that have never read comics before in the first place. So why kind of deliver kind of a history lesson almost with the second book? Like what made you excited about getting into the history of comics with this, basically?
Zach, Victor?
Oh, okay. I think for me it was just that I like Brent. I grew up on that. That was a huge connection to my father and a huge connection to just growing up in childhood. And in fact, my brother recently read it. He was the second person who read the book. I got it for the first time on Saturday. I had the PDF, but really to see the book is something beautiful. Archaea is just one of the most beautiful publishers. And he said, he says, Victor, after reading it, this is our childhood. It's a weird version of our childhood. It's a little dark and a little disturbed, but I think that for me is a connection to, even though we didn't grow up in the 30s and 40s and Depression era or anything like that. I grew up in Miami. It had a connection to our childhood, and certainly Dick Tracy was a big movie when we were kids, and The Phantom, was a terrible movie when we were kids, and but it was in us, I think, and of course you guys have to read the book, but it's a different take on all of that. It kind of reveals what I think we know, like history. You peel it back, and you know that there's something else underneath it that they don't tell you in the funny pages.
I just thought it might be a great book, besides just having a really cool mystery and everything, but I always thought at the end of the day, if someone reads it, and if this could be like a gateway drug for somebody who may not check out comic strips anymore, to maybe go back and check out the collected editions that a lot of places are putting together of some of these old comic strips, then I feel like we kind of did a little bonus besides telling a good story.
Well, speaking of Gateway, I want to talk about Lucid a little bit because this was the first Before the Door
Good
book to
segue,
come out.
Steven. That was-
Thank you.
Really well done.
Thank you. But Lucid was the first Before the Door book to come out, and the thing that I love kind of, helping to, supervise both the books is that it's something that couldn't be more different from Mr. Murder in terms of being this incredible high-action adventure book, basically. And Michael, like Victor, you were a first-time graphic novel writer when you did this, and you came to this from a completely different background of, people know you from True Blood, they know you as an actor. What made you want to get into comics of all things as a writer?
I've read comics my whole life, really. I mean, I started collecting hardcore when I was probably in the 3rd grade. So I'd been doing the comic conventions, and I was like Marvel Zombie growing up, and it was always something that I wanted to do. I always wrote, and when I was a kid, I would write and draw all my own comics at home, and I thought for the longest time that that's something that I would end up doing. And then kind of acting came in and took over, and went to school for that, but I always wanted to get into comic books.
And how is this writing career that's been blossoming? Because you're now doing the True Blood comic books for IDW.
Yeah.
Do you like this more than your acting? If you had to pick one.
I don't know.
It doesn't pay as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, so far I haven't had to choose, which is great, and I don't think I would if I had to, or I don't know, if I had to, I'm not sure what I would do. The great thing about writing comics is that you get to stay at home and work from your office and create and play all the different characters in the story, and you get to create worlds from just your home, which is always really cool, And there's no 5 a.m. call times. So I don't know, maybe comics would edge it out a little bit.
Well, I know since our audience is wonderful that almost all of you guys have already bought Lucid by this point. But for those that haven't, can you tell them what it's about?
Yeah, it's a little bit different from Victor's book in the sense that I think Mr. Murder is a one and done graphic novel, right? And I wanted with Lucid to create a character that could go on into further adventures. So Lucid Volume 1 is just the first of hopefully many. It's about a guy named Matthew D, who you're seeing right now, who's a secret agent for the government, is trained in magic and sorcery. So he's kind of a modern-day Merlin. And the first story hinges on this prophecy that Camelot is this wasn't just a time and a place, but it's this movement that humanity tries to keep, wants to reconstitute itself throughout time, and it always gets knocked off and destroyed before a golden age can really rise. So there's this character, this villain, who's trying to bring Camelot back, and he's not working with the government. He's a weapons dealer selling occult technology. So Matthew in this story is trying to track this guy down and figure out who he is and what his connection to magic is.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I have a question for Zach now, actually. This is very interesting. You've been a part of 2 major franchises now. You've been a part of Heroes. You've been a part of Star Trek. And now you have the opportunity with this incredible company that you put together to create your own franchises and your own stories and help kind of guide these new writers. And I mean, what is it that you look for running your own production company in terms of stories that you want to help bring to life?
There's a tremendous spirit of collaboration that's at the core of our company and the people that we work with, and that's something that has informed everything we've done, and I think will continue to inform everything that we do. We're really always grateful to give opportunities to people like Michael and Victor, who we've known for a long time, whose voices have inspired us as we were discovering our own voices along the way. I mean, these are relationships that go back, as Neil said, 15 years, half our lives, really. So those are all the sort of tenets that we put into place when we started the company. Those are really cornerstones for us, and those are the voices that we trust the most, in addition to our own. So it's about conversations, and we had a meeting at our office the other day that started from a point of frustration that I was having with something specific, and really evolved into this riff, this creative sort of banter between the 4 of us that work at Before the Door on a regular basis. And it's that sort of the seed for everything, you know, that these are people that I just love and trust and want to support and want to encourage in the same way that they've encouraged me. So that's a huge thing for us. And then stories that have some kind of relevance, either to a specific genre or to a social or political climate. You know, I think both of these stories in their own ways and both of these books in their own ways do that very differently, yes. But you know, it's also about casting a wide net and seeing what people want and cultivating a dialogue with our audiences and being responsive to the things that they really love and the things that they're not so turned on to. And then that's the great thing about having our own company is we can sort of ebb and flow and grow with that.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. Before the Door, I mean, you guys have been around for what about three to 4 years now?
3 years, exactly, yeah.
25 years.
25 years. It's been a long time. When you guys look forward to the future and when you guys think about, I mean, all the wonderful opportunities that have come out of this, where would you like your production company to be 5 or 10 years from now? What would you ideally like to be doing?
Children's T-shirts, I think, is the ultimate goal.
I was just gonna say jetpacks.
Jetpacks, yeah, well, there's a lot of money in that, I think.
We've grown a lot. A lot has happened for us in the past year, actually. Specifically, we produced 2 feature films, one of which is about to come out at the end of October called Margin Call, which we're really proud of and really excited
There's a
about.
trailer coming out for that.
The trailer will be online on Monday.
Yeah.
It was on
Oh,
Extra last night.
Okay.
And
And also the second feature that we produced, which was written and directed by Victor and his now lovely wife, Anna Martimucci.
Wave Anna.
Hello, Anna.
That's Brent's wife in the
and
back
there's
as well.
Brent.
This is
Cool.
wife's row in the back there.
But so, you know,
There is no wife for me.
we
Not according to Us Weekly.
Oh!
It's because you're constantly playing with magic.
Michael just had a double-page spread in Us Weekly. I really wish you'd just been
What are
holding.
you doing?
You opened yourself
You
up
did,
for
really,
it. You
yeah,
really
yeah.
did.
Michael, just next time that happens, just hold a copy of Lucid while you're walking by.
so true, actually. Good point.
Magic and Camelot. Where's my wife?
I've been trying to
Michael.
summon an angel to marry. It's not working out.
But
you,
she only
you are
shows
wearing
up
a
every full
He-Man
moon, right?
T-shirt right now. I mean,
Hey, I said before I was the only one who was like sporting the nerd gear here. I'm a little disappointed in my team up here.
by the power of Michael. Yes.
Power of Michael.
You're wearing a She-Ra t-shirt at the next.
It's underneath this.
It's a mankini. It's a She-Ra mankini.
Are you guys done?
Oh, are you talking
Storytelling, collaboration,
creative
artistry,
banter,
giving
right?
opportunities to friends who we
No, but
believe in.
the company's really sort of expanded and lifted a little bit off the ground in the past year, and we're really excited about that. And you know, I don't think any of us. There's also an implicit faith in each other and in what we're working towards. So the goals tend to be a little bit more immediate right now. You know, we've spent a lot of time focusing on film properties and obviously. Stuff in the comic space, and now we're shifting our focus to other stuff, you know, expanding into television, expanding into the branded space online, and so our goals are, you know, as a lot of young production companies, you know, we're growing with ourselves, and we're looking for the ground as we step forward, if that makes sense. So as long as it's there, which it has been, we're good, and I think the rest of it will fall into place, and you know, and we'll have sort of larger goals as time goes on. Yeah.
I think that was well brought back to the artistry.
Thank you, Neil. I did it just for you.
Well, Victor, you know, it's funny, Zach, you brought up Victor's movie, and you were both a first-time graphic novelist and a first-time feature-length director. Now, you direct other stuff before. Can you tell us a little bit about your movie?
Can I, Neil? What can I tell them?
No.
Oh.
He can tell you that he did it. He can tell you that it's a comedy,
There are people in it.
but no one you've ever heard of, which is a good thing. What else can we tell them? Nope.
Were there any animals hurt during production?
I had to think of that for a second. I don't think so.
Believe me, it's the reason we can't is because these guys before the door isn't. They are at their heart incredible storytellers, with really bad breath. But no, I'm just kidding. But they wanted to begin the story, telling now, and part of this story is this reveal. You gotta.
Worst
And,
tease ever.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Neil, please.
No, it's a great movie. We can't tell you anything about it, but we are really proud that Victor finally got to make his directing debut, and that Anna, who's an amazing writer, and we've got other projects with both of them, got to make her writing debut. They also both act in the movie. We can tell you that.
Go see it.
Corey
Won't
Musa
tell you what
acts
it's
in the
called,
movie.
or when it's coming out, or anything about it.
We can also we can tell you that we're producing it with an Academy Award nominated producer named Steve Golden. Can't tell you the title.
Yeah. We should
It's
just
the untitled Victor Kinaj project.
Right. We should. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
That's all we-
really good.
It's great.
Really
Victor,
Good
was
question, Stephen.
Thank you. Victor, was it harder to make your first movie or make your first graphic novel?
Which one was harder?
Yeah.
I would say the graphic novel.
Why?
I mean, I've been a commercial director for 5 years, so I've been behind the camera a lot, and we make the shorts, and we do that to kind of feed the need, and so we're constantly practicing. But graphic novel was a completely different form, and initially I had probably like everyone ignorant to the process thought it was going to be like storyboards, which is absolutely not at all like, and there was a serious learning curve for it, and I think you had sent me panel scripts to look at, and I was just kind of blown away because there's so many people like Warren Ellis and these amazing writers that write with shorthand, so I had to like kind of unravel that, and it was just a completely different form. But I will say that part of the experience ended up being phenomenal once Brent came on before we actually, I had the story finished, but I hadn't written the script yet, and Brent's sketches really helped me figure out how to tell the story. And you're looking at one of the flashbacks here. It's from the 1950s. The spook is about to get married to Mary Merriweather. I don't do many writing workshops. But I think it was Brent's sketches that really kind of said, okay, I can do this now. And you guys were, incredible.
We should give a lot of credit to editor Paul Morrissey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really
I don't know if
Paul.
Paul's here, but Paul also was someone who kind of took me by the hand and led me, and Corey as well. I mean, they were both very gentle. And it turned out to be an incredible experience. I mean, Anna can attest, I got a little depressed during it. It took me about 2 weeks. It took me a year to write it, but 2 weeks to really bang out the script. And I just the subject matter gets a little dark, and I start getting a little depressed. And, so the movie
Way
was
to
easier.
bring it down.
Yeah, sorry.
I have to say though,
I'll just leave now. I'm sorry. I'll see you guys later.
We publish a lot of graphic novels at Archaea, and we also publish a lot of first-time writers and creators. And I have to say, I'm really proud of both you guys, Michael and Victor. I mean, you guys really for first time, your first time out, and also for people that really come from other industries and other backgrounds who had never really done a graphic novel before. I mean, you guys both really delivered these incredible stories that couldn't have been more different, but couldn't have been more exciting and kind of true to the form. So I just want to say congrats to these guys.
Well, and to send it back the other way, Archaea, PJ and Mel and the whole team over there, Paul and Steven, put out unbelievable books. When you go to their booth to purchase these 2 books, pick up another half a dozen books when you're there too. They're awesome, and they keep getting nominated for Eisner Awards and all the best stuff that you can do in comic books. And their books are awesome. They just put out this book, Rust, that looks amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You want to buy the movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Zach, I actually want to put you on the spot here because this is a question that I've been asking these guys for about a year or 2 now, which is, when are you going to create your own comic book?
Oh, yeah. I just did.
What's it about? Pitch it.
Right now.
Well,
I
that's
just
funny.
did this moment.
No, wait. What is this
What's
panel?
that on the panel?
That's so weird.
I've never seen that before. This is what you mother.
Zach didn't know that was coming, so.
Surprise!
Wait, go back to the page that it's on. Oh my God.
Well, the good news
God.
The good news is that every panel around that actually exists in Mr. Murder, so I'm grateful to have been fit in there. Thank you
Brent
very
drew
much.
that just for you.
Thank you very much. That is quite a.
Look at that chest
A
hair.
lot of reference.
Zach,
there,
Really
though.
good.
But they got
Pretty
they got the V shape.
The pattern of the chest hair is accurate. Yeah.
I had
Kind
2
of like-
pages of notes on
What's
just
that
there.
weird? What's that weird bump under the towel?
He's his fur. He wraps himself
There
in
is
fur
a,
and goes
a
steaming.
tiger's mouth
Yeah.
coming out of the towel.
Leave
there.
it to you to find that, Michael.
I think we just won an Eisner,
Thanks,
guys.
guys. Thanks.
Hair does
I'm
not
very
touch the nipples.
impulsible right now. We can move that on.
So you're.
Do you?
Oh my God.
I can't quite read it. Can we zoom in?
That's a really, really good likeness.
Yeah.
And also what I'm saying.
Oh wait a minute.
Is
Go.
Levi in the room?
Wait. Go back to the previous panel. He's giving him the finger as a question. That guy is not helping you out with the DVR.
This is incredible.
This is his response.
If anyone in this audience knew how often I actually ask that question about the DVR thing, which could refer to my laptop.
And Chuck.
So wait, let me put this together. The comic is about a guy in a bathhouse with a tiger thing on his towel who doesn't know how to work his DVR to watch Chuck.
Eisner.
And
Sold.
And shaves his chest hair into the Superman shield.
You can imagine why this made Victor depressed.
And me. Smell Eisner.
But seriously, when are you gonna do a book?
There you go.
We're constantly talking about many different things. How political can I be about this question? I mean, I feel really inundated by the many things that we're talking about and working on right now, and certainly another book with you guys and perhaps with me more integrally involved in a creative way is something that I'm really open to and excited about. And Corey and I have batted it around for a while, and I think when the character becomes clear, because so much for me and us is about character and point of entry and how people inhabit the worlds that they live in, and so as that stuff clarifies, you'll be the first person I call. I promise.
Excellent.
I promise.
Would
I
you
want to
get-
hear about True Blood comics.
What do you want to hear about?
How's it going?
It's going great. We just finished the first
The Adventures of Reverend Steve Newell.
Yeah, exactly. I only did the True Blood comic book so I could put myself into a comic, clearly.
Actually, there is. I have to say, we have framed in the Archaea office the True Blood #1 photo cover of Michael McMillan.
With the yellow T-shirt tucked into the pleated slacks.
Yes.
That's a good look.
Are you ripped in those comics?
Oh yeah, I was like a little more bicep definition, please.
Right.
Yeah.
And like the 8-pack that
Yeah,
you
yeah. Give me a little more lantern jawed. Get it right. But we just finished Tainted Love, which was the first 6-issue arc, and I have nothing formal to announce yet, but it's safe to say I'll be back working on more of those in the near future. So, yeah.
And Alan wrote the foreword for this book for you.
Yeah, which was amazing because I'm working on obviously the show and the comic book. Alan graced us with his name and wrote us a foreword for the Lucid hardcover, which is really cool. So that was kind of a really great way from one of the exciting things that I didn't expect when I got into the comics was like how cool the worlds have really converged now between my acting career and the comic book stuff, and it's been this really great, exciting kind of give and take with it all.
Are we going to see a Lucid True Blood crossover in the near future?
Pretty cool. Maybe Matthew D can sign up for the Fellowship of the Sun.
That's what.
Yeah. Steve Nolan can have a new crush.
Someone call IDW right now. I want to do it. I'm actually curious about this. Is Alan Ball that involved in the plotting and kind of creation of the comic?
Yeah,
books?
he's really closely involved. Mark Andreyko is my co-writer on Tainted Love, and we send in our outline. Alan looks it over, gives us notes. He has this great assistant named Gianna Sobol who also worked on it, and so every script gets read and noted, annotated by Alan, and we make changes based on what they say.
Do you feel pressure as an actor to be writing the show and getting notes from Alan?
Yeah,
on
it's
your,
funny. I actually
comic?
it was so. I don't know why, but when I was, season 2 especially, like working on the show, I was always really shy to go up and talk to the guy. But as a comic book writer, and again as a new comic book writer, I have no reason to do this, but I'm just like, it's been a great thing because I'm like, yeah, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I think it's just because I'm really passionate about the mythology, so I'm a little bit more brazen as a comic writer, which is, I don't know, it's kind of cool.
That's
It's paid
good.
off, you know.
It's a good thing.
But I love that world, and I love this world of Lucid too. I mean, I'm somebody like you guys who, once I get involved with the character and the story, I become really immersed and interested in that mythology, you know, and just get passionate about it. So I've just really been sort of a big True Blood nerd to him, you know. So I
Very
don't know.
cool. Very cool. Well, I want to open it up to some questions now. If you guys have any questions at all. Right there, you're in the front. Microphone check.
Are there any plans to turn Lucid or any of the other stories into TV shows or films?
We'll
You know,
see.
we're really when we started working with Steven and Arkea and Victor and Michael, one of the things that we were really clear about is you know, it's really easy, especially for Hollywood-based sort of comic book relationships, to have them be about the adaptive possibilities of the material, which is something that we're of course all up here really open to and interested in the long run. I mean, we're a multi-platform production company, so but our goal is always to make the best books that we can make and tell the best stories in that format. I think Victor and Michael have both done that in a really stellar way. Steven and everybody at Arkea has really supported that pursuit. And just
No
like,
movies for you guys.
just like everything else that we're just like everything else we're developing, you know, we're really open to the possibilities of it, but nothing concrete yet.
It's funny because I actually don't think you could adapt something like Mr. Murder as is. Like, it's so steeped in comics and in the history of comics. You have to change it up a little bit, maybe.
We'll find a way, Steven.
I believe in Victor.
I will openly admit that I want Mr. Murder to be a musical. I'm not joking. I really
It'll
want
make
it to be a
a
musical.
lot of
He's
sense
very
after you
serious,
read it,
actually.
too.
Yeah, read it and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I don't like musicals. I mean, I like musicals, but I don't like love him with musicals. But this one is a musical.
I mean, I think when we started the company, we wanted to be in everything to a certain extent, you know, not limit ourselves. So graphic novels and comic books was something we explored, and obviously television, both because of Zach's history in television and because we find it an interesting medium, and then movies, which we've now made a couple of, and new media was always sort of sitting there, so we played around. We did some shorts, like Hostage, a Love Story, which we shot, and then we've worked with Victor and his whole team and Anna on a bunch of their shorts, and you know, we're now looking at trying to figure out a way to turn that into a business instead of a sort of more for the art and fun and funny of it.
It's kind of like what we were talking about with the comic books, though, where when you want to explore this world in new media, it's what can exist that can only exist on the web. I don't want to put TV or movies on the web. They have their own platforms. So how can you use this venue to tell a story in a different way than you've ever told a story before? Interactive is something that you can't do on normal television or in a film. Say something else intelligent, though, Neil.
It's also about timing, I think, in a lot of ways. You know, television and film are overarching goals of our company, and there's something about the new media space that's more immediate. We can do something on our own over a weekend and, you know, get tens, if not hundreds of thousands of eyes on it within a week of that time based on the access that platform provides us. So it's also something that is a sort of intermediate step along our path, I would say. But we have fun doing it.
Can I
so.
also speak to this because I work in new media, do commercials and stuff like that, and written many campaigns and talking about how I thought when these guys launched ZacharyQuinto.com, it was kind of brilliant, and I go on there all the time, and I'm sure some of you do as well, that you guys are so creative and so amazing, and these guys have provided the space for that to kind of occur, and so it's fantastic that these guys are having a direct dialogue with you directly. You know, they don't need to necessarily, they have a publicist and these things. It's like they really just want to connect with you guys. I think that's what new media brings, and why there's so much interest in it is because there is that kind of direct conversation that can occur either in storytelling or in news or whatever it is.
And on that note, though, Sean Akers, everyone who created our website, who handles a lot of our new media, please
And what's interesting is that that's sort of what Zach Levi has done with this event too, is
Quite incredibly, yes.
connect directly and use his new media platform and communication tools. So thanks, Zach.
A big
He's in
thank
the
you to
room.
Zach for having us here too. This is
Yeah.
this is awesome. This is
And
very
and Tage and his whole team.
David Coleman, thank you.
Good job. Next question, right there.
Steven, that's a question for you.
Slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race.
Your $20 check is in the mail. I'm cheap.
Where's PJ Bickett? Did you just bow your head down?
PJ's the publisher.
Let me just say this. We have loved working with these guys, and I hope that there's going to be more Lucid. I hope there's going to be more books. I would love to work with everyone again.
By the way, the best way for that to happen is for you to
Buy the book.
like it,
Yeah.
buy it, and tell your friends. And she's got one right there.
I was
so
gonna
that's-
say
you go.
too, just as this.
Excellent. Thank you.
You
Thank
win the
you.
enthusiasm award for the day, but that's the thing. It's like so many of the Archaea is an independent publisher, and really the best way you can support the books is with your dollars and getting the word out there and telling people, telling your friends, buying copies for family members, whatever. Just spread the word. Especially in times when print's kind of having a hard time.
And speaking of which, I should mention that Lucid is also available digitally. We have it on all the digital platforms that Archaea is on, including graphically, and it's going to be on Comixology as well. So if you guys can't find the book, it's very easy to get digitally on your iPad, on your iPhone, on your computer. So
I'd say support your local comic shop if you can, and if not, order it from Amazon. It'll get there in a couple days.
there you go. Next question. Right there, front row. Yes.
I went to see Angels America in New York, and I was exhausted when I came out just from sitting and watching it, and I cried. And when you were fighting, I was like, no, don't leave him alone. And it was. So what was it like having to do that every day and over and over and over and they kept extending it, so.
Yeah, it was one of the most incredible experiences that I've had in a long time. So different from everything else that I've been working on as an actor for the past few years, and it had been 6 years since I've been back on stage, and that's where I feel most at home. And to be able to have my first play in New York be such a masterwork, and to work so closely with Tony Kushner and Michael Greif, who directed the production, it was certainly exhausting. It took a toll emotionally and physically. I actually committed to do the show through the first extension until the end of January, and I left the show along with 4 of my castmates at the end of January. They continued on to the end of April, which I frankly don't know that I could have done, just stamina-wise. But the experience was one of the richest, certainly, that I ever had on stage, and almost one of the most creatively fulfilling that I've had so far as an actor. So I look forward to getting back on stage.
Was it better
As
than
soon
when
as I
you
can.
played the alcoholic organist in Our Town? In
That
college?
comes in a close second.
What about-
my Simon
God.
Simpson in Our Town, the Barbara Mackenzie Wood production was
What about-
was a really good.
Was it more fulfilling than when you played the father of the Vietnam vet whose genitals had been shot off in the war?
also another really fulfilling experience. But somehow the history, the subject matter, and the gravity of that play somehow it
Welcome Home, Bobby Joe was the name of the play.
The Consuela Trump production. Don't think I forgot. But thanks
Was
for
it
coming to
was
see
it more fulfilling
I mean, we're-
than when you played Mae West in college?
I did. I played Midwest. Yeah.
It's true.
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, but thank you for coming to see it, and I'm glad you had an exhausting experience, as you should have, I think.
Next question. In the blue shirt in the back, right there. Oh, hang on. There's a microphone coming your way. Excellent.
I went to another panel yesterday, and they were talking about like the communication between like the author and the illustrator, and if they're not satisfied with this panel, but they like this panel. Would you say you have good communication, or are you ever dissatisfied in any way? Like honestly.
Well, therapy helped. That at first it was hard going. No, honestly, see the first conversation was almost the most important conversation because we realized we had so much in common. Me being from Miami and you being from the Midwest.
South Beloit, Illinois.
Yeah, so that helped, and just that we were on the same page with what we wanted to do with the story, where we wanted to go with the story, the fact that we were going to subvert this genre. I think that was huge, and then because that communication started off on such a great way, and you totally nix this if you want, but it was easy going from there. And so there were adjustments to panels, and there were certainly adjustments to the cover several times, but it was always a great conversation. There was never any argument. It was always just a discourse, and it was beautiful.
Brett, let's hear your side of the story.
It was terrible. No, it's a lot like dating when you first start. It's kind of like feeling each other out. Like, hey, I like this. You like that?
Feeling each other up.
And no, it just helped that for some reason this project, it was so specific. I mean, 1930s comic strips and all. So like you kind of right away you kind of feel like you're both on the same interest and level and kind of had a lot of similarities. So yeah, that first conference call, it was like I feel like we were the first two. It was a conference call and we were the first two for like 5 minutes, and it was like 5 minutes of Dick Tracy talking and what we loved and this and that, and then everybody else kind of jumped in, and it was great. As my wife would probably realize, like I'd spend 12 hours in the studio and then we'd go have dinner and I'd still be talking about it. And she, like every time you work on a new comic project with people you don't know and you're kind of talking to them on the phone or email, she's like, oh, you have someone new in your life now. And, she could definitely tell that we were very happy together.
We're strong together.
We're strong. And, and it was, it just met him yesterday, but I feel like I've known him for forever.
Guys, one thing that I think would actually be really cool if we could do, because I'd love for the fans to be able to see what a true collaboration this was. Maybe we could put Victor's original script up on your guys' website so that when they buy the book, they could actually because really it's amazing to read Victor's script and everything that you put on the page, and then what Brent brought to the table and took that and elevated it, to the level it was at. So, Sean Akers,
it was written in crayon.
Another thing about when you have, I guess, conversations about stuff like panels and stuff like that, like I think we can all test. The cover was the biggest thing for this book. I mean, we were bouncing around so much stuff.
How many times did we go over that cover?
26. I have 26 different little thumbnails, that we went through on covers. And I know at one time we were thinking about doing a photo cover that we really thought was the way to go. And
whose idea was that? Was that you? That was you.
But that's the best part is when you are working with people you really respect, and it's not hard. It's just like, well, we just got to keep plowing away at this thing until we find the one that we love.
It's really interesting because I feel like so much of the process with the comic books, because it really is distilled from moment to moment. You have your cover and then you have panel to panel. I feel like so much of it is really about getting it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's trying to find that. Have we captured this one moment of this one panel as best as we could? And that's a really sometimes there's mystery to that, and sometimes it takes 4 or 5 people going over and going, well, what if we did it this way, or what if we did it that way?
Well, it's funny because when we did the 37 versions of the cover, when we finally got the final thing, like I just remember Paul and I looking at it, and it's like you know in your gut it's right. You know it's the right one. You're like, that's it. That's the one. And it looks great.
I don't know how many of you have seen the book. Again, I just got it on Saturday, and I was just like, I almost cried. It was so beautiful. But Brent has been receiving so many accolades from people by other artists at Marvel and DC that just buy and just feel up the cover. It's embossed, it's beautiful, and they open the pages, and it's just gorgeous. Arcade did such an amazing job publishing it. It's really
I would like to
beautifully
second that notion with the Lucid HC, which is
Yes.
also very cool. I'm not getting competitive. Why did I just get so competitive with
People
you?
are filling
Let's
out that
not
book.
forget. No, but the difference is Lucid originally came out in floppies and they were great, but when we got that book, it was just like this to me is the definitive version of Lucid. This is like the ultimate DVD box set of the series, and again they just did such. I love the. I don't know, now I'm like bragging about my own stuff, but I love the wallpaper that Scott Newman did of the sigils in the background, and it's really cool. I don't know, whatever.
We agree, Michael. Your book is good too.
Do you want to go through it page by page
Yeah,
with
open
everybody
it
right
up.
now?
Panel 1.
All right, next question. I don't know when we're out of time, by the way, so we're just gonna keep going. You in the front row.
This question is for Michael and the rest of the crew as well. You said you collected comic books as a kid. What were your favorites?
Well, I first started with David Michelini and Tom McFarlane's Amazing Spider-Man run, like right around the time, like right when Venom was introduced. And I loved to draw when I was a kid. That's like all I did. I thought I'd be like a Disney animator or something when I grew up. Not as good, not that good anymore. Everybody else, the rest of the kids caught up with me eventually. But I still, I still like to draw a little bit. But so I read, I love Todd McFarlane's art. And I read Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. I think I've collected every issue of both Amazing Spider-Man and Fantastic Four since 1988. And I mean, I've read everything. Now I follow writers, Brian Michael Bendis, Alan Moore, Warren Ellis, all the greats. Jason Aaron, who's from Kansas City, where I'm from, and Matt Fraction as well. So I don't know. I mean, I've got, like you, I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff, runs that have really meant a lot to me, and then others that I collected for a while and abandoned and came back to. But yeah.
Very cool. Next question. In the cadet uniform, right there.
This is for Before the Door. All of your guys' digital shorts, like the before and afters and Hostage Love Story, how does the creative process for that begin? Exactly. Like, who comes up with the idea for that to happen?
The before, afters, and the periods pieces that we've been involved in certainly generate from Anna and, to a lesser extent, Victor.
You like that?
His wife's in the room. The two of them and their whole team in New York, their brother, Philip, Victor's brother, and they have a whole sort of creative team there that comes up with those in general. In terms of Hostage Love Story, it was another pair of writers that we went to college with who pitched us 15 ideas, and we thought that was the funniest one and decided to go make it. And then went through a lot of processes with the director, this guy Hank Nelkin, who directed Hostage, and he sort of steered it in the direction that he felt it wanted to go along with Zach. So it depends on the project. We're doing another one right now with that same guy who did Hostage Love Story that we just sort of shot a little trailer for that Zach and I debuted in New York.
And my butt guest starred in it.
Yeah, Steven's butt did make an appearance in the.
Is it a bear butt?
It was not a bear.
Well,
you snuck a bear butt in the shirt.
You guys.
And that was also another thing where a guy had said to us, "I think this is a funny idea," and we agreed. Obviously, we hear a lot of ideas, and we come up with a lot of ideas that are not remotely funny, and we try not to make those. But it depends on the project. Yeah. Did I vamp that out?
Can I tell you though that the before after? So basically, what Anna and I do is we just outline basic ideas and funny costumes. If some of you've seen the periods, it's just all about costumes. But Zach and Philip improv the entire time. All we do is we throw out little lines at them, and we say, "Oh, it'd be funny if you talk about your ex-wife or something like that." And Zach comes up with all of it, and it's our gift from him. It's incredible. And I can't tell you, we literally are like, "It's Thursday. You want to make a short on Saturday? Let's do it." You know. It really is that quick, and I can't tell you how you guys should do the same. It's a phenomenal experience.
Mel Kalo has a question.
Hey guys, more of a comment than a question, but I wanted to give mucho props to the artist on Lucid, Anna Vicek.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Anna is she lives in Poland and couldn't make it out here, but she did a fantastic job on the book, and I've had so many people come up and compliment her work on it. It just looks gorgeous, and she gave Lucid, real its own personality, and she did a great job. I really wish she could be here.
How'd you guys find her?
Maybe she's watching online.
She might be.
Anna.
It's late there. Get back to bed.
We got time for two more questions, guys. Two more questions.
Who did I want to be when I was a kid? I wanted to be myself. I never really imagined that I would play Spock. I mean, I wasn't really a Star Trek fan. So I've cultivated a real appreciation for the franchise, for the character, certainly for the man who's responsible for bringing him to life, originally Leonard, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity. Looking forward to doing it again. Finding my way back to it, and But I knew I wanted to be an actor from a young age. I'm just so grateful that my experience as an actor have allowed for all these other conversations and all these other opportunities to present themselves as well. So
Can I ask a question?
seems to be.
To the audience about. Is there anybody here who was not a Star Trek fan that got into Star Trek because of Zach playing Spock? Wow. And are you guys like now into all the other Star Trek stuff too?
Not the movies.
Actually, I also have a question for the audience. How many of you guys were into comics before reading these books? And how many never read a comic before reading a Before the Door book? We got a few. Victor's wife in the back. There we go.
She's still on the fence.
Interesting. One more question. Blue shirt right there.
This one's kind of directed towards Zach. It's really easy to tell just by listening to you talk that you really enjoy acting, especially theater. And I was just wondering, at what point in your life did you become interested in producing? If there's anything that like started that.
Yeah, I mean, I first sat down with Neil right after I knew I was going to get the role of Spock, but before it had been announced. I recognized, I had been in LA for 9 years at that point, working really hard to sort of elevate my career as an actor, and it was in that moment that I recognized a window was opening up for me, and it was also in that moment that I recognized it would only stay open for a specific amount of time before I didn't have the same kinds of opportunities. So we started talking at that point. Neil was producing, working with a producer at Warner Brothers. And
A Selena Gomez movie.
It was, it was just,
Go ahead,
it was
Gomez fans.
I was going to say, is that a bad
There
thing?
we go.
It was just a convergence of the right time and the right place, and yeah, that was really the origin of it for me. I realized that I didn't just want to. I didn't just want to. I didn't just want to wait around for people to tell me that I could work as an actor. I wanted to be able to create opportunities for myself and people that I respect and care about. So, so that's when it happened. Yeah. And I just would like to take one moment because we're done. Is that right? Aww. But I really do. I know we sort of mentioned it already, but not only do I want to thank Zach Levi, but I want to congratulate him on what he's made here.
Absolutely.
And, it's really. Absolutely. I was telling him last night. He might be off dealing with some other.
Oh, I'm right here.
Zach Levi, ladies and gentlemen. I was telling Zach last night. One of the greatest parts of being here and being a part of Nerd HQ is that I don't have to set foot in the convention center this whole weekend, which is. But more than that, just supporting you and what you're doing is really impressive and inspiring, and it's great to be of like minds, and we're really honored to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank
Can't
you
wait to
guys.
party down tonight.
Let's
my
give
friend.
these guys a round of applause.
And thanks to you
Thank you
guys
guys.
for coming
I also
all.
just really quickly, I do want to give a shout out and thank you to Jeff Loeb for.
Yes.
Where is Jeff?
I don't
He
know
had
if
he had a thing.
He's a
Go
busy
figure.
guy.
He's like the king of Comic-Con.
He's a busy
so
guy.
we can't blame him.
So, thank you guys very much for coming. The
And
books are on sale at the Archaea booth.
And
At
we
the
have
convention.
a signing for you all right after this. So as soon as we get all these guys off the stage,
Make it
watch your
rain.
eyes. Watch your eyes. No losing eyeballs. But please enjoy Nerds. Oh yes, and if we can get all you guys to just line up in one big awkward line, we'll let everybody get pictures. And
Where's the signing?
The signing is going to be right in this room next door. So we'll
All right.
usher you guys all off the stage that way. And then we'll escort you right to your table, and then everybody will line up nice and orderly. No, please stay seated. Please stay seated. Keep seated. We're going to get them out, and then we'll get all you guys lined up. Was it a fun panel? Was it a fun panel? I'm telling you, that second effort is always better. Yes, and they're smiling, and it's awkward, and they're gonna do the can. All right, fantastic. Go, guys. Why don't you go that way? Head off that way. I'm sorry, you can't take a picture with him right now. I'm so sorry. I mean, I'm really not that sorry, honestly. I'm more sorry for you than anything. That you didn't get the shot. No, it's fine. You can find him. He's gonna be walking around. I'm gonna keep talking like this. You're just trailing off. It won't make any sense. I like your shirt though. You're welcome, Superman. Oh, thank you so much. So as soon as they're all kind of out, and they get a little breather, you can keep taking pictures. You can here, watch this. I'll dance for you. I'll be a dance monkey. Little Timberlake, little something like that. Oh my God, it's incredible. As soon as I start dancing, everybody's like, "Yeah, dance, monkey, dance." Hey, one more time, thank you guys so much. If you don't know, I say this every time I start a panel and end a panel. You are all part of changing lives all over the world. And whether you realize that or not, it's like, hey man, I don't care where it's going, I'll spend $20 to hang out with Zach Quinto and everybody involved in the coolness that he's doing. Sweet. Or sometimes you don't care who you're going to a panel for, and you go, I just want to give $20 because that's going to go straight to helping a kid enjoy their life for the rest of their life. It's a little change that lasts the rest of their life. I mean, that's huge, and you're all a part of making those differences. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for making Nerd HQ something that's cool and awesome and fun. I hope you guys felt the interaction. I hope you felt that it was something special and different. Did you? Yes? Oh, that was first effort. I didn't even have to ask for the second. Nice. Are we good? Can we get everybody rocking and rolling? One more minute. I'm hearing one more minute. I'll sit and dancing monkey, dancing monkey. Anybody have a question for me? Yes, right here down front. Yes. Well, I got all of them. Thank you so much, and I got to share them with my crew. Yeah. What was your name again, by the way? Mark, my friend Mark here came and visited us on set at Chuck. Mark, is your daughter here? Hi. Oh, you're one of the cosplayers. I love it. Mark and his daughter came and visited us on Chuck. You were a huge fan of the show, and it was such an honor to meet you. Mark was involved in, Mophie, the charge pack, the juice packs, you know what I'm talking about, for iPhones and whatnot. Mark was involved in creating those and bringing those to market. So if you have one, you can thank Mark. And Mark was super kind because I was telling him how I thought they were the coolest thing in the world, and he just sent me some, and I got to share those with a lot of the cast and crew. So thank you so much, man. I'll take them. Free stuff? Yes, thanks. By the way, everybody loves free stuff, even celebrities, really. You know what I mean? Is this a thumbs up for free stuff? Fantastic. You know what's not free is our T-shirts, and I'd love for you to buy one. Or a hat or whatever. Feel free. Yes, question? CBS or CVS? Because it could have been like a pharmacy thing. I don't know. You never know. What's your favorite Tylenol? Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for plugging us. Thanks for telling people about it. And by the way, if you guys find the time, and I'm not about twisting anybody's arm. I just believe in real and authenticity. And if you guys think it's awesome, if you think Nerd HQ is cool, trend it, hashtag it, add it, whatever. Do whatever you want to do. Tell your friends, tell perfect strangers, and whatever you do as you walk around the streets of Comic-Con this weekend, free high fives. That's where we go. Just give people high fives as you pass them on the street because it's a community, right? And we're all here to enjoy this time and enjoy San Diego Comic-Con and hang out here at the HQ as much as you want. So thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to get you all up and over, and you'll get a chance to get something signed from Zach and the gang. Sound good? All right. Thank you. Dancing. Yes.
All right, guys, we're about to load you out. Remember, there's only one item per signing per person.